Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and Season 14 is here. We finally have it, we finally get to play it, but with that, you guys might be wondering, what are some good weapon combos to use this season to grind out rank? Well, luckily for you, we have 3 of them today, so we're going to be breaking those down, and by the end of this video, you will know exactly what guns to use for your specific position. But guys, real talk here, real serious, getting nice and close. The new season is here, and with that, we are seeing massive legend and weapon meta changes. And with all of these crazy changes, you might need a helping hand in order to figure out what is best for you. And if that's the case, then you need to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there, we have top level coaches creating the best guides and courses like legend guides, gun guides, VOD reviews, and much more, all aimed at making you the best Apex player you can possibly be. And there's no better time than right now to pick up a membership. Because right now, if you use code Season 14, you will get 50% off your membership. So go right now, click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, or I won't share my shield batteries with you. But okay, let's jump into things now, and the first thing that you guys might be wondering, why exactly do you need a good gun combination? A lot of people that play the game just run 2 of the guns that they enjoy using and call it at that, and yes, that is a viable strategy, but sometimes the 2 weapons that people pick don't actually work well for the character that they are playing, and they're losing out on a lot of potential. An entry fragger should not have a sniper rifle because they're supposed to be the first one into the fight. If they have a long range weapon like a sniper rifle, then you only limit yourself to 1 gun and you're not as useful. Now, I do understand that there are some exceptions. People might be watching somebody like Nicewig use Octane and a longbow and be a little bit confused. But Nicewig understands every single little bit about his character and the game and understands what drawbacks using a longbow has to it, so he's able to play around that. That's why I say that there are some exceptions, but for the most part, you guys will want to stick towards these weapons. So let's jump right into the weapon combos, and the first one that we're going to be talking about is for the entry fraggers. Now, like I just said, the entry fragger is the first one into fights. They're the ones that's kind of drawing all the attention, drawing all the fire, setting up a good foothold for their team, and then allowing them to push up towards you. So for this one, you're going to want to have guns that cover more of the close to medium ranges. You're not going to be in as many long range fights. So the first weapon that I would suggest is going to be the flatline. Now in Season 14, the flatline is getting a nerf to its hip fire, so it's not going to be as good in close range, but it's still going to be ridiculously strong in those close range battles that are getting towards the medium range. When you don't have to hip fire, you can ADS, the flatline shreds people, and it's a very reliable gun. Now it does have a little bit more recoil than something like the R301, but I think this season heavy weapons are going to be a little bit more dominant in the meta, so you're going to have a little bit more easier time finding the heavy ammo on bodies, and sometimes the R301 can chew through ammo in a fight, and if you can't replenish any of the ammo off any of the bodies that you kill, then you're going to be struggling a little bit, so I think the flatline is going to be a better option this season. But now, what do you pair with the flatline? What are you using in these close range situations? Well, my suggestion is going to be the Peacekeeper. Now, shotguns are still extremely strong in Apex, and while the EVA is receiving some buffs, I do think that the Peacekeeper is a little bit better option for an entry fragger. The EVA is kind of the W key shotgun in Respawn's eyes. It's not one of the ones that you kind of play corners and chunk people down with. But with the entry fragger, and you're going to be stalling out a little bit until your team can get there, so you want to have a gun that you can play the corners with, and if somebody tries to peek you, you can then just chunk them for their health and then reposition to then do it again. So the PK with hitting those full mass body shots doing a crap ton of damage, I would definitely suggest picking this one up. Now, if you can't find a Peacekeeper, the EVA is still a good option. Just drop the EVA when you do find the Peacekeeper. But now, with that being said, let's move into the secondary fragger position. Now, the secondary fragger, much like the name suggests, is the second one into the fight. This is usually the person on the team that's the best fighter and is able to get the most kills. That isn't always how it goes, but it's just kind of typical. Now, this season is going to be a little bit different for secondary fraggers because some of the weapon changes that happened and some of the legend changes that are happening. So I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for these guys. For the most part, on a secondary fragger, you want to still be somewhat mobile. But the first gun that I'm going to have you guys pick up this season is the Spitfire. Now, the Spitfire is changing from heavy to light, and I know that I did just say that heavy is going to be more readily available, but I think that the Spitfire is going to be a very solid gun for the secondary fraggers this season because it did receive some nerfs to its recoil, so it's going to be a little bit harder to control, but that's not going to stop it from being an absolute dominant force in the right hands. And right now on Kings Canyon, there's a lot more open sight lines in medium range fights, so you can be super oppressive in those and allow your entry fragger to play a little bit more freely. With the 50 rounds in the magazine, you are going to be able to just pump out an insane amount of shots and be able to cover fire for your team very effectively. But the Spitfire doesn't have the up-close killing potential that a lot of other guns have. It kind of falls off in that sense. So the gun that I'm going to have you guys paired up with is the Car SMG. Now the Car SMG is insanely strong of a gun. Now the Car is losing its barrel stabilizer, so it's going to be a little bit harder to control the recoil, but it is getting the laser sight, so the hipfire is going to be a lot more reliable. So you're not going to have to take it in those medium range fights because you have the Spitfire. So the Car should only be used in the up close fights where you can hipfire and get the boost from the laser sight. The Car is probably going to continue to be one of the strongest up close guns in the meta this season. And though it will be back on floor loot, so it won't be as reliable to get because you can't just guarantee getting one, I do think that this is the gun that you guys should be picking up as a secondary fragger. Now, the R99 can work as a placeholder, but do not take the R99 over the Car. The R9 is not as good as it used to be, it doesn't have the DPS that it should, and the Car is just a much better option, so always pick up the Car instead of the R99. But now to top this all off, let's talk about the backline boys, the supports, the rocks, the anchors, the ones that are holding it down for the team, and I'm definitely not biased because I play support for my team. But yes, supports. What weapons should you be running? Well, a support should always be in the back of their team. There's very few exceptions where you should be the frontliner or the one that's taking the brunt of the force in the fight. So with that being said, you want to have guns that cover the medium to long range and then very close range for when you have to jump in the fight. So the first gun that I'm going to have you guys use is the 30-30 repeater. This is going to be the most broken gun of the season. I'm calling it right now. The dual shell hop up is being put into the base gun, so you're going to be loading 2 shells each time you reload, and it's also getting the skull piercer. The 30-30 was already a very good gun. It could put in a lot of work in fights, open up a ton of opportunities to push, and just really be useful in a lot of different ranges. But with the addition of the skull piercer, it's going to be doing something like 140 to the head when it's fully charged up, something along those lines. It's going to be stupidly strong. Now, if you're also playing a support like Gibraltar where you have the gun shield and you can be a little bit more lenient in your poke battles because you have that free 50 health shield in front of you, the 30-30 is definitely going to be the best option for you guys to run on all supports, not even just Gibraltar, on all supports. But the 30-30 is not that reliable in close range. It's losing the shatter caps. It's not going to be good in those certain situations. So what do you pair with it? Well, the EVA or the Peacekeeper, those are going to be the best options. The EVA and the PK only need 1 stack of ammo, so you're saving extra room in your backpack so that you can carry even more 30-30 ammo or even more heals or grenades to share with your team. Now, in terms of which of the shotguns to pick up, I really think it's going to be up to you. If you're playing Gibraltar, probably the Peacekeeper because bubble fights are still going to be a very big thing in the meta. Mad Maggie does counter them now, but I don't think a lot of people are going to be playing her. But if you're more of a W key support, something like Watson, something like that, I do think that the EVA is a little bit of a better option. But try them both on your specific support, see what you like about them, see what you don't like about them, play around a little bit and use your own judgment. The weapon meta is changing a lot this season. We're going to see a few other combinations that are just completely wacky and zany, and you're going to see a lot of different things pop out and just be something that works. So let me know in the comments down below what gun you think is going to be super strong in the meta. Let's see what the community thinks, because I obviously think that the 30-30 is going to be the best gun this season, but I'm always open to hearing some other opinions. And with all this being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did and you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I will see you in the next one.